So now, outcome, I'm gonna give you some perspective and some mindset. So now, few data points. 53% of Americans say they rarely or never think about far future. 53% never think about it. Some of you are saying 20 years? I'm not gonna be thinking 20 years ahead. I'm gonna think maybe 3 weeks ahead, but not 20 years ahead. I get it, it's not easy to do. 21% report imagining this future less than once a year. Can you imagine? That means 1 out of 5 person even sits there thinking about the future. Like, all I'm gonna be thinking about is right now. 1 out of 5. So if you're on the other side, you already have an edge over these guys. 32% say it never even crosses their mind at all. This is why I asked the question for you about long-term versus short-term planning. Everything's about the question, who do you want to be? A recent study revealed that around 33% of small businesses have a formal business plan. How many of you right now, if I called on you and I said, I got $100,000 I'm gonna give away right now, who has their formal business plan with them in their hands right now? Raise your hand if you have it with you. Raise your hand if you have it with you. I'll give you $100,000. Stand up if you have it with you. Stand up if you have it with you. Okay, here's another question for you. How many of you guys, your business plan that you wrote for the year, you've read it or looked at it in the last week? Be honest, straight up. You spent a few $1,000s to come here, so we don't need, in the last week, how many guys looked at your business plan? Look around, actually look, don't look at me, look around. Look around. By the way, when people used to do that with me in an audience, I used to be like, man, he's making me feel like shit right now. It's not the point. The point is you just found an edge here, because no one's doing that. Everyone's just winging it. Your entire competition, 90%, they're all winging it. And most likely, you and I are also winging it. But the market's wide open today, especially today. But no one's planning. So now, the greatest danger, this is one of the greatest business consultants and authors of all time. Go buy every one of these books, you'll never be disappointed. Peter Drucker. He said the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic. You know what this means? I'm gonna solve it the same way I solved it 5 years ago. It's not gonna work today. It's a different problem today. Yeah, I'm gonna do it the same way I did it 10 years ago. It's not gonna work today. Let me give you some more perspective. Like I said, I was gonna give it to you. Dow Jones. Anyone know where Dow Jones was on Friday? Where did Dow Jones end up with on Friday? Anyone knows? What did Dow end up on Friday? 28 something, right? And just a few months ago, Dow was at what? 36.7, 36.9. So, first time, exactly. Markets dropped from 37,000 to 28.5. On Friday, I think the market dropped 500-600 points is what it dropped. Okay. Now here's the thing. People panic. People panic on what's going on with the market. This is the Dow in 1957. Did you hear what I just said? 1957, Dow's at 435. This is Dow in 1970, 838. This is Dow in 1983. This is only 39 years ago, guys. How many guys are older than 39? Raise your hand if you're older than 39. You've lived longer than 30. Dow, 39 years ago, was only at 1258. Dow's at 29 right now. It's 22.8 times since 39 years ago. 1996, it was 6,400. Year I graduated high school. 2009, 10,428. 2022, as of Friday, 28,725. So if we go back and look at what the market's done, from what was the number? From 4 something to what? From 435 all the way up to 28,000. When you look at this, how do you feel when you hear these numbers? When you look at this, how do you feel right now? Like, what are you thinking about? What does it make you think about? That means long term, guess what? What's gonna happen long term? We're okay long term. Now watch this. Housing market, rates. How many of you love the rates going from 2.8 just a year ago to, what is it now, 6.83, okay, 6.85, wherever. How many guys love the rates increasing the way they are? This is rates in 1957, 5.25. 1970, 8.5. 1983, 3.2. How many guys will like a 3.2? Anybody would like a 3.2? You know what it was in 1981? 16. Let me say it one more time. In 1981, interest rates were 15 to 16%. And in 2 years, it went down to 3.2. 1995, 1996, 7.8. 2009, 5.04. Today, 6.83. What's the most constant thing that we notice about the rates since 1950s? What do you notice? Always changes, okay? But even though the rates are changing, let me show you the next part. Average price of a home, 1957, 19 grand. 1970, 25 grand. 1983, 64 grand. 1996, $112,000. 2009, $188,000. 2022, $388,000. What do you notice throughout the entire time? It never was less. It kept going up. Again, the mindset of what? Long-term thinking, you're fine. Short-term, you'll panic. Long-term, you'll walk around the room like this. Hey, Johnny, how are you? Good. You're good? Patrick, everything good? Everything's good, man. I'm excited, bro. You are excited? Very excited. Very. Hey, Larry, how are you? Oh, bro. I don't know, man. My wife and I had a bad fight last night. How are you? Everything good? Future looks bright, man. Super excited about the future. Super excited about. Hey, Jackie, everything good? Oh, did you hear? Is today the day? Did they already announce the rates? Oh, I don't know. But guess what? What? Future looks so bright. Man, I'm so excited about the future. And eventually everyone's going to get together. You know what they're going to say? I really think Pat's on ecstasy today. I saw him drinking a lot of water, and his wife was rubbing his back. Something's going on with this guy. He's rolling. I'm telling you, Pat's too happy today. But no, you're thinking what? Long term. While everybody else is thinking what? 5 minutes.